Today is February the 12th, 2026. As you can see by the title, today is my birthday. So, yeah, turned 29 today. Obviously, it's not a milestone birthday, but we're getting close to 30. So, I figured, you know what, let me just do a quick live stream on my thoughts and I guess how I feel. So, I just came back from a dinner with my brother. So, he just treated me to a nice cheeky dinner, nice cheeky Nando's. So yeah, we had some fun catching up and having a good time. So yeah, just came back from that, and yeah, I mean I'm in a good mood. I'm probably gonna go to sleep in a second, but yeah, no crazy birthday shenanigans for me. Those days are past me. Although I think when I turn 30 next year, I'll probably go a bit harder. I think this year I just want to take a chill one, not do too much, and yeah, keep it pretty low key. But yeah, hopefully I'll see some friends in the next few weeks. But obviously I'm quite busy with other stuff, with immersions and other commitments. So either way, always grateful for another year of life. A lot of people don't make it to this year, so I'm still grateful that I've been able to stay alive, stay healthy, stay fairly content. Life could be way worse. Of course, I have goals, I have ambitions, and I hope all you guys watching also have ambitions for yourself, dreams that, you know, you want to achieve. And I hope that with every year that passes by, that you're able to make some sort of progress towards those ambitions. But of course, birthdays are always a time to reflect and think about how far you've come and what you want to do. Sorry, God, what you want to do going forward. And I think for me, honestly, looking back, the last year has been pretty insane. I mean, so much growth, so much change. Yeah, I think I've got like something in my throat because I ate some chicken and let me take a sip of water before my voice starts cracking up. Please, this is not good for the live stream, but I don't care. Okay, right, we're back. So yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy year. Like the last year, my 28th year on this earth. Just insane. Lots of growth. Getting coached, meeting Ephraim, and obviously leaving my job, traveling to Thailand, and most importantly, just all the growth that I experienced through Cold Approach. Because I remember at the beginning of last year, so obviously my birthday's in February, so February last year, I was, yeah, I think I'd got my first dates in February last year, but after that, it sort of was up and down. And then eventually I got the coaching, and then things got better. And then, yeah, the back end of last year, decided to leave my job, go traveling. Then now we're here, beginning of 2026. And yeah, obviously the channel's growing, and I'm coaching guys now, helping guys change their lives. So it's been a great start to 29 so far. And obviously, 30's on the horizon. And for most guys, or for most people, they look at 30 and they start questioning, okay, have I achieved what I want to achieve? Have I, you know, become the sort of person that I would have thought I would be by 30? And so all these questions start swirling around your mind. And I think for me, honestly, so much growth has happened in the past, let's say, past 2 years. Honestly, since I found Cold Approach and since I did my first approach, it's just been a meteoric, exponential, rise in terms of personal development. So honestly, like I'm very happy with how much progress I've made. And if anything, I'm just super excited to see what happens going forward. But yeah, I think ultimately, I guess my lesson for the past year is just to follow your heart. and to go after what you want, no matter the cost, no matter what other people might think, and ultimately realize that you have one life, it's your life. You know, none of us necessarily chose to be on Earth, so we're here now, so we might as well make the most of it. And I think just trying to live as freely as possible is the best advice I can give you. And I'm gonna look at this through the lens of Cold Approach because I think that's just one great example of living a life of freedom. Yeah, living a life where you don't really care too much about what people think. Ultimately, you're the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to your desires and expressing them, no matter the circumstance. And I think for me, that's been a big lesson in the last year. And now that I'm 29, that will continue to be the lesson going forward. And I will continue to hammer that message home, whether it's on live streams, whether it's in my infields, whether it's in anything that I preach. It's always going to be about owning your desires, owning who you are, being authentic as much as possible, not bending your principles and going after what you want. Like I'm close to 30 and it's like now I'm really starting to feel like I'm living a life that I designed, one that I want to live, one that fulfills my purpose, and I'm gonna keep on going, and I don't care what anybody says. So, and I'm a part of a great group of guys, whether it's my guys that I'm coaching or being a part of Ephraim's private community too. I mean, I feel like everything is just moving up, and I'm very grateful to be surrounded by the people I'm surrounded with. Obviously, I'm healthy. I've still got family in my corner, which is a blessing as well, obviously. Um, and yeah, I think there's a lot to be thankful for, but yeah, it wasn't the easiest year as well. Let me just say that, like 28, being 28 wasn't the easiest. There were certainly lots of downs, lots of moments where I was like, oof, things aren't looking rosy, things aren't looking great, but I kept optimism, I kept on pushing. And I think most importantly, I just never backed down. I reached out for help when I needed help, but then I also, took a leap of faith and went into the deep end and trusted myself. So yeah, there's been a lot of, let's say, turning points, but ultimately all those experiences have led to today, right? And now I'm turning the corner for another year. And I think all of those experiences, whether they were good or bad or neutral, they've just primed me to be a different kind of guy going forward. And so that's why I'm really looking forward to the next year of life. God willing, I, make it again. But yeah, that's why I'm excited because I think I woke up this morning like, whoa, I'm kind of a different person, which is kind of crazy to say. I know it kind of sounds like, what does he mean when he says he's a different person? But, if you guys knew me 2 years ago, if you knew me 3 years ago, it's almost like a completely different person. In fact, it is a completely different person in terms of confidence, self-worth, self-belief, and just my general outlook on life. It's so different, man. And it's funny because I remember when I was, before I left my job, I was like really down in the dumps, but I just knew that I had to make a big change, and like having made that change, has allowed me to be where I'm at right now. And I'm so happy I took that risk. And so I think another theme for, this additional year of life is to just take more risks, yeah, to just live life and go all in, fully send it and trust in my abilities and see what happens. I don't want to be tepid anymore. I don't want to tiptoe. I don't want to, you know, like not put in the effort. I want to just sort of take it all, put everything on the line and just go for it, because like I said, I'm only here once, you know, I don't get to decide how long I stay on the earth for. So I might as well just enjoy it with every ounce of effort and fight that I have. So the fight shall continue, and we shall continue to, build this movement of guys who, want to free themselves of the shackles of modernity and they want to carve out their own reality and do what they want and say what they want, not what they think other people want, and think for themselves and go after what they desire without being apologetic, just unashamedly own yourself. And, I want to be that living example of someone who was like, such a sheltered and just kind of lost person. And then, I found Cold Approach and everything just changed. And yeah, I'm just so grateful that I found this skill set. I went into it for just to get just to get girlfriends and dates and stuff, but now it's now it's a completely different ball game. So yeah, I'm glad that I got something much deeper out of it, and hopefully I can, you know, give that sort of experience, or at least help other guys get that experience for themselves. But yeah, I guess that's the other goal for the year. It's just helping other guys through this area of life, and seeing them transform in real time. So yeah, otherwise that's pretty much it. I don't want to go too long for this live stream. But yeah, also 29 years old. Trying to think, because like there was this thing that we used to do where like every year was a number of a football player, or like how in basketball Michael Jordan was 23. I don't know who was number 29 actually. Who knows? I can't even think of any sort of athlete. So we'll just have to wait until 30. I think Steph Curry 30. I think Steph Curry was 30. And obviously, now I'm a player, I'm a shooter, I shoot my shot. So maybe next year is when I get to use the basketball analogy. But for this year, we're just going to have to allow that. We'll have to wait for that for another time. But either way, anyway, have a good night, boys. And yeah, I've got a nice live stream topic for tomorrow. So I'll go into way more depth for that live stream. I think you guys will find a lot of value in that one, because it's pretty much one of those topics where I think if you really understand what I'll be talking about tomorrow, then it will give you a lot more sustainability with the skill set. Because like I've said before, the skill set isn't easy, especially when you are building it. And for those of you who are actually committed to getting good at this, I think this type of mindset or reframe will give you a lot more wiggle room and just more flexibility, and you'll sort of go into your approaches with less expectation. And I think at the end of the day, it will also help you get better results, because you'll be showing up with the right mentality and you'll have the right energy behind you. So tune in for that one tomorrow. I won't say when I'll do it, maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon. We'll see. But either way, it will happen. So yeah, until then, get some good night's rest, and yeah, speak to you tomorrow. I'm so tired, honestly. But anyway, yeah, have a good evening, and take care.